muy feliz porque el año pasado entrené duro para poder seguir en este equipo que me gusta mucho y me trata muy bien. Y encima es que es un nuevo juego, nuevas experiencias y con dos compañeros que me llevo muy bien y con muchas ganas.
Our goal for this season is to get the highest possible achievement. All three of us have the ambition to become champions, and my personal goal is to win every match in the competition. We were playing very well overall, but there was one thing we were missing, and that was being clinical up front in the finishing, and that will definitely be our main focus this season. We are the Arsenal, and we are ready for this season's eFootball Championship Pro. Come on, Gunners!
Well, there you have it, two very experienced clubs and very experienced players as well in the mix, as both of them trying to put aside some disappointing results last time out and try to advance even further in the knockout stages this campaign, if at all possible. So let's go ahead and see then who's going to be in the mix for Game 1 between FC Barcelona and Arsenal. And it's going to be the Palma, the young Spaniard, who is going to be representing the badge for the third season running. He was MVP and picked up the best goal award in Matchday 3 in the 2021 campaign. He'll be up against Barbosa, the lone Portuguese representative in this competition, but somebody who has also picked up plenty of awards himself. Now, Wes, all of us, we are fans first and foremost, besides being professionals here. But as far as I understand from previous broadcasts, you've talked openly and glowingly about how Barbosa is your favourite player. Does that still ring true?
Oh, absolutely. In terms of just from a performance standpoint, he's one of the better players that we saw from a co-op standpoint, was able to deliver goals, deliver passes, deliver tackles where needed. And then to top it off, you know, if you are a headphone user, I will warn you now, he will get very loud. I absolutely promise you, as Harry will attest to as well. A very passionate individual. And again, worth his weight in gold for this Arsenal team.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the more entertaining figures of the entire competition. We've seen him, whether it's in the studio, whether he's at home, he will blow your eardrums out with his celebration. So expect a lot of passion from the Arsenal side to come. Looking forward to seeing how they can push things through this season, potentially go that one step further.
Well, great stuff, guys. And go ahead and get us ready to go for the next game. I think the players are ready, so I'll give you a quick second to catch your breath. But I can imagine this is going to be just as mouth-watering as match 1. I hope it lives up to it.
Well, thank you very much, Semra. Yes, this one is an intriguing one, Wes, because we have De Palma for Barcelona. His not his first season for Barcelona. He's been with them for a couple of years now, and halfway through last year in the co-op campaign, he was looking absolutely unbeatable. Goals, assists, he was putting up MVP performances, and then seemed to have a bit of a drop-off towards the business end of the competition. I'm not sure why that was. It'll be interesting to see if he's able to start just as fast and maintain that level of competition this season. But on the other side, we have Barbosa, fiery, a very impressive character as well. This one should give us lots of entertainment as we kick off Barcelona versus Arsenal.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about the Palma, we've seen him, you know, in previous tournaments at 1v1 level be incredibly impressive. And again, this goes to stand to reason that he's actually, you know, he's not necessarily that bad of a 1v1 player. So I think, you know, looking at the abilities that are on show here, as much as we've, you know, glowingly spoken about Barbosa, again, the same can be said for the Palma. I think as a 1v1 player, I think he's better than he is as a co-op. So I think looking at the two teams here, I think both are setting up with 3 back formations. So this will be very interesting to watch.
Very interesting indeed as we see the opening stages of the match. Barcelona kicking from right to left. Here is Aubameyang against his former club, of course, now on the virtual pitch. Dembele as well! And that is an absolute wonder strike! From Dembele! The Palma opens his account with a wonderful strike.
Yeah, it's that clinical double touch that we've seen from the Palmer so many times throughout his entire eFootball career. And again, no sooner has he been given the opportunity, you're seeing 3-man formations where players are flowing forward here. You see it's the neat little ball roll off from Aubameyang. It's a neat little turn. It's a dummy into a double touch, which again, as button combos go, it's a pretty expert one to pull off. You can see it just knocks it round the corner. And Leno is left standing. There's not a lot you can do in that scenario. Defender goes to try and cover it, finds the gap and finds the lane. And it's 1-0 very early on. You can see that Barbosa not giving a lot away in terms of his reaction, but you can imagine he'll be bitterly disappointed with that.
Well, if you're wondering what to expect then from the Barcelona squad this season, Palmer is one that will score goals such as those in very frequent fashion. It's up to Barbosa now from Arsenal to try and make sure, first of all, it doesn't end up being 2, and it is 2. Same man, same result. The Palmer strikes once more, and it's 2 within 12 minutes.
He's a silent assassin. It's the Palmer. What a finish that was. But again, it's the same similar pass and move. If you notice, Aubameyang takes the ball in, Dembele's running off, and again, it's as we said yesterday, it's about picking moments to do something different. You know, again, if you're Barbosa, you go, well, he's in the same position, he'll do the same thing. No, he won't. He'll absolutely slam it into the top corner. 2-0 to Barcelona, and well, this is well, I would even say it's a surprise. It's you know, it's the best players playing the best players. You're going to get results and, you know, passages of play like this.
That was an absolute hit from the Palmer. A man who has spent a couple of seasons at the Catalan club now. Someone that fans of the club will know very well from his performances last year. He seems to be continuing his early season form in this competition now as well. Corner to come. Fati somehow makes his way through and is on a jinking run here. But Arsenal, they survive. And that's what they're doing here, Wes. They're surviving. They seem to be hanging on. They're coming forward now, though, with Lacazette. But the Palmer, incredibly organised defensively here as well.
But if you're talking about dream team players, you're talking about, you know, players or teams to go and look at, you look no further than Barcelona in terms of their youngsters. You've got Pedri, you've got Gavi, you've got Ansu Fati, you've got a lot of great weapons around the team, and the Palmer is using them to expert, you know, abilities here. Not just even talking, we haven't even got to their back line. You look at Raul Araujo, who's been superb for them, and again, you know, the ball might even get to the back line the way that the Palmer's playing. It's unbelievable.
In search of 3, and we speak about players that maybe want to contest Matchday in the race for the golden boots. This certainly will be one of them. Of course, we can mention Barbosa in that conversation as well, but so far hasn't really had an attack to show for those aspirations. Here is Nicola Pepe. But once more, the defensive duty from the Palmer has been absolutely solid, and the attacking gameplay has been decent as well. Lokonga cannot quite find the pass through. I think the intended recipient was Ødegaard, but look at this. This is Aubameyang here to make it 3!
Oh,
the groan from Barbosa. He did everything that he could to put Aubameyang off for the Palmer. But it is Barcelona who score 3 with the slipping Aubameyang.
Yeah, and it's that man. It's Aubameyang. We've seen it in previous iterations of the game. We've seen it in previous iterations of this competition, just how good Aubameyang has been for Arsenal, and now it's almost the return of the X, where he now turns up for Barcelona and is absolutely tearing his old side to asunder. And again, you know, you look at the mentalities, or at least the body languages of both players. the Palmer, I don't even think's moved an inch. That's not a static image, is it? He's actually still playing, right? It's unbelievable. If I was 3-0 up after 30 minutes, I'd be bouncing around the room. But then again, I suppose that's why I'm here and they're there. But you can look and see that these tactical switches that are coming in, but it's a very, very open game of eFootball that's happening right now.
Do not adjust your screen. That is a live image of De Palma. As cool as you like. Of course, his aspirations will be, as we said before, more towards the business end of this competition, as his Barcelona squad expects to be in the knockout stages. And it's that man again, Aubameyang, threatening to make it 4. The Arsenal backline, though, did well to step up and play him offside.
Yeah, but you can see just from the players that are there, we haven't even spoken about Memphis Depay, but the players that are surrounding this side, Frankie de Jong, that is littered with superstars. And, you know, again...
Chance now for Arsenal as Lacazette. Wes almost gets the strike away, and he does, but parried away.
Yeah, so I was just about to say that the players, or the quality of these players, you know, again, you put them in the hands of a player like the Palmer, you're going to see goals, you're going to see damage pretty quickly.
Very good link up there for Arsenal until the final moments. This is better, though, from Barbosa, starting to settle into the game, as I say. Commentary curse. Seems to be more settled defensively now, though. There are the gaps. Lacazette tries to feed Martinelli. And the Palmer again is holding strong there at the back. This was, I was going to say, is a good passage of play from Arsenal, but you can see again runners in behind here, in between the middle of the two centre-backs. There's 1 minute left in the half. What can Fati do here? Memphis Depay is shepherded away, but unfairly, says the referee, and this will be a free kick to end the half.
Yeah, you can see exactly what the Palmer's game plan is. It's isolate wingers.
Depay steps up, and it's into the back of the net. An absolute peach from Barcelona. The Palmer is on a roll, 4-0.
That's an unbelievable strike. Again, though, you can see goalkeeper moves just a little bit. Still not enough. It's an unbelievable strike from him. And the Palmer is a one-man wrecking crew at this moment in time. You can see Barbosa just unhappy with that, conceding that goal. But 4-0. And as he rightly said, anything that the Palmer is hitting, it's just flying into the back of the net, regardless of where he hits it from.
Seemingly everything he's touching right now is turning to gold. Or should I say goals? As Barbosa has some work to do. We'll take a look again as these players have a little change up at half-time. I mean, we talk about group stage goals, Wes. There is, of course, an award for goal of the group stages. That's got to be up there, surely.
That's an early front runner for my money, most definitely. The quality on the strike, it had that almost looping quality to it, and it just nestled into the top corner. Keeper had absolutely no chance.
So we kick off then the second half. Palmer with that free kick goal joins Eldridge and Irma on 4 goals in the leading goal scorer tables. And it's only just past half-time, Wes. So that could very well increase. And we will see Barcelona in match 3 of today as well. So don't be surprised to see some Barcelona names littering that table. Here is Memphis Depay, who scored the free kick.
Yeah, I think the surprising bit for me here is just it's how underwhelming Arsenal have been. But whether that's a shape issue, whether that's just not being able to play through the lines, not being able to get the ball free, I'm not quite sure at this point. But they're just not being at the races here.
I feel we should maybe apologise to the viewers because we've built Barbosa up as a very passionate individual. We haven't had a chance to see him get too passionate just yet, not in a positive manner anyway. Here is Pedri. And Bele causing the Arsenal defence all kinds of problems, but They survived that scare, and well, Martinelli, if he controls this well enough, could be in behind, but once again, defensive duty seemingly the Palmer's strong suit.
Well, this comes back to it as well. If you're looking at when we see the pauses and we see each team, you're looking again at how these players have trained their squads and what they have benefited from. You look at some of the player selections as well. Interestingly, with Neto being in goal for Barcelona, it allows you to play a little bit more with your star players further up the field. It's allowed this Barca side to just absolutely run rampant here.
Well, Arsenal win the first ball, but Barcelona clear. These are the league tables in both Group A and Group B. We saw yesterday Celtic with a fantastic result. Smith Rowe trying to feed Martinelli meanwhile. And Barcelona, this is their dream start. This is no doubt what they were anticipating by sending their captain out to play the first game. It will be interesting to see as we look forward to game 2 and 3 who plays whom for both of these two clubs. There's more changes to come now, Wes.
Yeah, you can just see that the 3-4-3 nature of that lineup. I mean, it's heavily aggressive, but that's been like that from the off. And whether that, I mean, you look at it, it's it's a 3-5-2 from the Palmer, but it just seems to be a little bit more structured. You've got Adama Traore coming on. I believe there's Braithwaite coming on for Barcelona as well. It's having that ability and having those players to make changes with. You've got Eddie Nketiah coming on, and it's Bukayo Saka that's also on for Arsenal. It's having that ability to change it. If it isn't working, you're a little bit stuck if you haven't got a plan B or C to kind of almost pivot to. So I think for Barbosa, I think it's a case of having a look back at what went wrong here. I mean, I'm not really to call a game done before it's done, but 4-0, and there hasn't been a lot going forward for Arsenal. It's going to be almost a bit of a fact-finding mission for him to figure out exactly what went wrong here.
Oh, you say it's unlikely to see this turn around for Arsenal. I would be inclined to agree, but the first port of call to make that happen in the final 20 in-game minutes is a goal, and a goal incredibly quickly. Nothing seemingly working going forward for the North London club in this game 1. Still 2 games to come. Our boats are on the ball now. Pepe on that far side. What can he do inside the box? Saka to win the header. The Conga is there as well. Pepe arriving, and is forced to save. That was better from Barbosa, but not the end result he would have wanted. And here is the super sub. And here come Barcelona. Traore. Memphis Depay on that far side. Beats his man, and it is 5. A super 5 for a super player. The Palmer is shooting up the Golden Boot table. It's 5-0.
It's unbelievable. It's an unbelievable performance from him. I mean, again, finding players and finding loose players in the attacking third has been incredibly easy for Barcelona here. It's Memphis Depay with the controlled one into the bottom corner, but it's been too easy for him. It's been too easy for him to find space and find it at will, especially with the players he's got flowing forward. If you've got Dembele, if you've got Fati, you've got Adama Traore, you've got Aubameyang, you've got Depay, you've got attacking weapons everywhere. So it's not just one focal point you've got to watch for. You've got to watch 5 or 6.
Oh, here's Martinelli to try and get a consolation here for Arsenal, and Nketiah arriving. And Barbosa is on the board. No celebration, no reaction. Understandably so, but Arsenal, they score their first goal of this season's competition.
There's surely no more than a consolation here. So again, it's a nicely worked goal in truth, but it's again, like we said, it's going to be a fact-finding mission for him now to figure out what went well and what didn't go well here. But again, the grand summary of what didn't go well could literally be everything, because it's been goals galore for the Palma and not a lot of opportunities for Arsenal to get into that final third.
5-1 then. Surely not more goals to come. Here is Traore, though. The Palma wants to win this by 5. Memphis Depay as well. Can he wriggle through? It's Braithwaite! It is 6! I said it was a Super 5. It's now a Super 6 for the Palma.
Yeah, slightly fortuitous in how that breaks down, to say the very least. I mean, again, it's about reactions that's there. Again, it's good movement to get the ball into the box in the first place, but there it's a clash of bodies, it's collisions left and right, and it just falls to Braithwaite. And again, much like I said in one of the goals yesterday, it's one of those goals where you're just sitting there going, I just hope I get to it first, and you just press square or your shoot button as hard as you can and just hope
Of course
it goes
it's a
in.
goal, man. Look at this, man.
Barbosa not happy at all with the way his virtual defence has shown themselves today. 7 goals in this game so far, 6 coming by way of Barcelona and the Palma. He's almost up at Mastray's level.
He could still be. There's a chance on here.
Pedri now. Depay, who has been a threat throughout the game. Trying to feed Pedri inside, but Aubameyang is there to pick up the pieces here. Into the 90th, Braithwaite turns, gets Aubameyang back involved. Pedri arriving, and there's a defensive mistake at the back.
Everything's so slow, man.
7-1. Do not adjust your set. It is Barcelona 7, Arsenal 1. And it's another breakdown at the back.
Yeah, you've got to feel for Barbosa there. He's charged up the clearance, and instead his player has just completely run into the goalkeeper, and as such, it's allowed a very easy chance for the Palma. Again, the Palma's not going to, he's not going to kick that out of play, as a fair play award. He's going to stick it in the back of the net. And that's the first bit of emotion I think I've seen from him today.
Impossible to play this game, man.
Sympathy for his adversary. He's been in that position before, no doubt, the Palma. He knows how painful those types of goals could be to concede. But that goal, number 7, as we make it official, Barcelona 7, Arsenal 1, brings the Palma right to the top, right to the summit of the eFootball Championship Pro top goal scorer charts, Wes. Something tells me this is going to be a bit more of an extended highlights package based on the 8 goals we saw in that game. I mean, looking at the stats, 8 shots on target from the Palma. That man there will be very happy with his day at the office today. It's not done yet, of course. Got another game to come immediately after this, but he'll be very happy, won't he?
Oh, he'd be absolutely delighted with his performance. On the flip side, I think Barbosa will be incredibly disappointed with his, but it was set the pace here. It was from that brilliant finish from Dembele, and that really set the tone. It was 9 minutes in. We thought, oh, okay, well it'll open up a little bit now. Maybe Barbosa might get one back, and it'll kind of open up. And instead, it just became the Palma and Barcelona becoming a one-team wrecking crew.
Well, a couple of things to note, Wes, as we see the second of 7 go in for Barcelona. A few things to talk about. The first, Barbosa, how he bounces back from that Game 1 defeat. It was a drubbing, but I think the most painful thing now for Barbosa, the Portuguese, is you have to wait an entire week for your next chance at redemption, because Arsenal, they don't play again today.
Yeah, I think it might be a slight blessing for him, though, in the sense of you can have a look at your game plan. I mean, we saw it in the early going. It's 3-4-3 against 3-5-2. You're going to have 2 very potent strikers that are going to be up against an Arsenal backline. And as we saw, they had an absolute field day. So maybe it's a case that you maybe don't look to play 3 at the back against players like that. and instead it's a bit more of a fact-finding mission for Barbosa. But again, having that ability to kind of look back on it, as you see a wonderful free kick from Memphis Depay. You know, I mentioned about how, you know, players don't normally take free kicks going straight over the wall, but it's a bit of gamesmanship because you normally anticipate a goalkeeper move, and instead just popped it into the top corner. But for Barbosa, it's to lick your wounds, it's to kind of take your time and really regroup here, because this is a drubbing. There is no other word for it. It's an absolute drubbing.
It's always difficult, of course, to lead your club out into a game one, but there are lessons that Arsenal can take away from that scoreline. Obviously, it's a blemish on their record and their goal difference, Wes, but games 2 and 3 still to come. You mentioned several times. Bit of a fact-finding mission for the Gunners. It has to be said. Barbosa now can feed that back to his 2 players. We don't know who's going to play yet in game 2, but it's going to be important that he's able to feed back the mistakes that he made and the strengths, of course, of his Barcelona opponents.
Well, here's the difference maker. The difference maker is that all 3 players from each team may potentially set up with different teams to fall in line with that team strength level. So I think if he does feed it back as potential mistakes, it may not necessarily be the same with whoever comes down the pipe for Barcelona. So
yeah, so true. Barcelona 7, Arsenal 1, Semra. It was an extended highlights package, but we still have 2 more games to come in this match.
That we do, but let me just say this. The Palmer, he may have been going up against Arsenal, but he was the one who brought the big guns today. He had all sorts of goals in all different types of shapes and sizes. It really was a masterclass against Arsenal in his opening game for Barcelona. Certainly maybe a sign of things to come as well from his teammates. We'll certainly see what's in store next. So let's go ahead and jump ahead and take a look at who is going to feature for the Catalans against Arsenal as they try to gun their way back into this match. And it's going to be a case of the spring chicken against the seasoned veteran, the youngest player of the tournament against the oldest player of the competition. It's Alex R at 17 years old. You may remember him well. He had a stellar performance in the opening weekend last time out, where he picked up the best goal award. We'll see if he can do one better than today. Whenever it comes to S Venom, he joins his new team as well, and it's going to be very interesting to see how he does. So guys, well, I should say new. He has been with Arsenal before in the past, hasn't he? So, guys, whenever it comes to experience against someone who's really just starting out their professional careers, what kind of game do you think we should expect for this one?
It's a fun one because although we say Alex R, 17 years of age, perhaps not as experienced as his adversary here, had a breakout performance last year, had a great season with Barcelona. So I think it would be fair enough to expect that Alex R is going to give this a really good go. He's going to trouble Venom because despite, of course, last season's competition being a 3 versus 3, we saw glimpses and flashes of brilliance from Alex R. So that's something that I think Venom here, Wes, is going to have to maybe keep an eye on. Yeah,
most certainly. And if the first game is anything to go by, he will see that there are multiple weapons within this Barcelona team that he's got to keep quiet. I think the bonus for Venom now is that he has got a little bit of something to prove, because he's coming back to an Arsenal side that, you know, he hasn't played for a little bit. So it's now something to prove of going, hey, you were right to bring me back in. This is what I can do. This is what I can show you. And again, if you're looking for players to come in and try and steady a ship, you would look no further than S Venom to come in and steady that ship.
Well, thank you very much to Semra. As you can see on your screens, Alex and Venom are ready for Barcelona and Arsenal respectively. So we'll chat to Semra again after the game. But something tells me, Wes, that Arsenal fans might want to prepare a post-it note, a bit of sticky tape to go across the top of the screen for the game 1 result that no doubt will be popping up incredibly shortly, because it's a bit of a blemish on their record. They'll be hoping their man here, S Venom, attacking from right to left in the Arsenal changed strip, can provide a bit more of a fight to his Barcelona team.
Yeah, what was curious for me for both sides here, from Alex and from Venom, is that both teams are lining up with the back 4 here. So already there is a fundamental difference between what we saw in the first game tactically to what we saw in this game. So again, a little bit of a difference maker could be here, could be a little bit more width to go on. And already we're seeing kind of Alex and Venom both try and test each other's defenses.
Yeah, that's going to be the beauty, I think, of this competition. We've already had Matchday 1 in Group A yesterday perform their very best, and we've seen the difference in tactics not only yesterday but also throughout today as well. Barcelona now threaten to score first, as they did in that game 1. Here's Aubameyang. Beats the first man, finds Ansu Fati here as well, who decides to go inside, still somehow gets his strike off. This was a curious finish in the end, Wes. Very improvised, but it will be a corner.
Yeah, slipped at the point of contact. One of the key fundamental things that I've not yet mentioned when we see players playing is the opportunity to super cancel. So it's not a dummy, it just shows the player the power bar and maybe baits them into a bit of a mistake. You'll see that a lot, where you'll see a power bar and you won't see an action afterwards. Just something to keep your eye on for players trying to almost destabilize their opponent's defenses.
And another thing, we'll see a lot of those driven corners. This time, nothing doing for Barcelona. Opening 15 has been very much a feeling out process for both of these players. A lot more control and restraint, I suppose you could say, shown by Venom here in game 2, having watched his teammate play game 1.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of not wanting to go toe-to-toe too early, because if you come unstuck early, you could find yourself in a very bad position.
Well, a great turn from Ødegaard almost allowed the back door to be unlocked. Pepe and Partey, Ødegaard getting involved as well. But there are signs of life on the attack here from Venom, and something we should note, as we did at the top of this match, Alex R, great season last year, but that was in 3 versus 3. The pressure is all on him now, and only him.
Yeah, and I think it'll be interesting to see what he has got in the proverbial locker in a 1v1 kind of standpoint, because I think it's almost uncharted territory from my own personal knowledge of Alex R. But then again, he's certainly earned his place here, so we'll certainly see what he's got to work with here.
Ødegaard. Tackled well by Alex R. And struggling to put together those passes that we saw the Palmer do so efficiently in that first game. As Venom looks the more in control of this game now. Pepe skips past his man. Still in control of the ball here. Smith Rowe. He's trying to stand up his man once more. Good skills on display, but not so much of an end product there for Venom.
Yeah, you can see him just trying to test the defences and trying to just unseat a Barcelona defender, but it's Aubameyang who's found himself in some prime real estate, gets blocked out by Tomiyasu. But you can see both players are trying to earnestly test each other.
Ødegaard turns well. We'll have a runner on that far side. It's Pepe once more up against Busquets. It's going to be great duels all over the pitch, and that's something, of course, these players will take into consideration when constructing their dream teams. 10 minutes to go till half-time. Barcelona now with Ansu Fati. De Jong with an amazing cross. Depay's there with the header. Aubameyang slow to react, and it will only be a goal kick. But that was the first real sign of Barcelona waking up in this game too.
Yeah, you saw there as well. We spoke about the stunning passes and stunning crosses. You saw there as well. Super cancel from the first one, just to bait Venom into just going in a particular direction, allows him enough time to get another crossing. It's a really good save, and to get it back across goal was incredible. Just could not find somebody on the end of it.
Five till the half. Deadlock yet to be broken. We haven't had a game in this competition yet end goalless. I wouldn't want to curse us here, Wes, but Both players seem to be negating each other's efforts so far.
Yeah, I think it's a who's going to make a mistake here first, and I think it kind of underpins just how important this game too is.
Oh, look at this, Memphis Depay with a strike, and it's wide of the target. The stunning strike had the power, but a little bit too much direction.
Yeah, that's what we speak about. Although it gives you extra power in your shots, it can sometimes lead to well, I can only describe it as shanked shots that will go just wide. And again, close one there for him. You can see the almost anguish on his face. I think even Alex knows how important that potential chance could prove to be.
Half-time approaching, no minutes added on, says the referee's assistant. So this should be the final kick of the half. It is indeed. So you see Venom there just scratching his head. It's going to be a very difficult puzzle to piece together for the North London club this season, you feel. Not a single shot registered by the Gunners in the first half, but plenty of possession to show for it.
Yeah, it'll only take one glorious opportunity for them to take the lead if they can get it. But the same can be said for Barcelona. They're certainly getting more opportunities. They're certainly getting more chances. It's going to be a case of the quality that they have behind it, as that's a brilliant goal kick.
Ansu Fati is there in support here as well. Goes for goal, and Aubameyang again, just that bit of hesitation. Perhaps broke his stride. You've got to be switched on and concentrating at all moments in this competition. As the crowd settles down slightly here, and we have a moment to catch our breath. Just seems very scrappy in that midfield, both players. Perhaps we're starting to take a few more risks now as the game ticks on and the stamina also starts to deplete for both of these clubs.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if you saw a little bit more of an expansive game now that time starts to tick on. I wouldn't be surprised to see more mistakes from the individual players on the pitch either, with the lack of fitness.
Aubameyang with a great opportunity. He would argue maybe it fell a bit too close to goal for him, but there is one of those opportunities you spoke of, Wes. Great turn, and now Arsenal want to reply in kind. Martinelli now has just too many players to navigate as we take a quick moment to see the Palmer already up level with Mestre at the top of the Golden Boot leaderboard. De Jong now can turn and get his strike away. Did that come off his own man, I wonder? It was a good opportunity for Barcelona, but it will result in a corner.
Yeah, like we've seen today already, these corners are becoming vitally important to the weaponry and the inventory that these players have got to work with. You can see it's that full power going in towards a header, but it's cleared away by an Arsenal defender.
Chance for a break perhaps, but Alex Sarr is not falling for the dummy there. Gets a stunning strike away. Absolutely zips past the goal. Unfortunately, not between the two posts.
Yeah, and what I quite like, what I'm liking from Alex is the fact that when a chance is on, he's just taking an opportunity. He's just trying to make something happen. He's not really looking for a percentage shot. He's more at home, like playing like he was playing somebody that's not in this competition. He's just trying to take the opportunities that are coming to him. I think for Venom, I think it's still a controlled performance from him. It's just not quite been in the vein that I think that a lot of viewers and a lot of us would have potentially have expected from him. But certainly, like we mentioned, if it's something to right the ship or to calm it down, this is kind of playing right into Arsenal's hands to at least get themselves on the board as it stands.
Well, we're into the final moments of the second half now. It's well and truly ticked down as Traore gets his strike away. Fati will as well recover the ball, but has to be said that That timer is one that you're going to have to keep an eye on if you're both of these players here. Barcelona are winning the ball back and in advantageous positions as well.
Yeah, however, I think if you're Arsenal, you don't want your best player on the pitch to be Bernd Leno at this point. You need some type of inspiration coming down the pike.
Nketiah, Martinelli. This is better from Arsenal. It will be a corner from them as well. What can they produce from this set piece? See Traore there going over to try and block the driven cross. It does come in either way. Tomiyasu's still up there. That could be a problem on this counter now, as Barcelona bring the ball forward. Pedri. Alex are starting to build now. Has Traore on that far side as well. But here's De Jong. Slid through to Memphis Depay, but his first touch really lets him down. But speaking of letdowns, that was a bit of hesitation at the back there from Venom. "15 in-game minutes to go, and it's a corner. Defended well in the end. All of a sudden, there seems to be bodies breaking, but nobody can be found. It seems to be that this game is so evenly matched that we cannot seem to find any goal just yet, as De Jong overruns the ball somehow. Chance still on here. Traore can't find Fati. And with 10 in-game minutes to go, Wes, it's getting into next goal wins territory.
Yeah, and that's got this feel about this game all the way through at this point in time. As we can see, ball goes left to Samuel Umtiti.
Umtiti teeing up a teammate, surely. Traore! Depay! No! Still no goal! How on earth is this still goalless? The first, the second, it will still be a corner to be defended for Arsenal. But Barcelona, they are knocking on the door.
He did everything right there, Alex, all apart from the fact that there was a big Brazilian centre-half in the way by the form of Gabriel, who managed to just get himself involved and get away from it. It's danger has not gone, though, but it has now. But it's a wonderful block on the line, and now Martinelli trying to lead the break here.
See Barcelona looking for some type of professional foul. Won't be needed, as you can maybe tell by Venom's reaction. That's a bit of a let-off for Barcelona. Fati, De Jong. There's Depay on that far side. Saka back on defensive duty. Martinelli now for Arsenal, and Lacazette is in behind, but Neto is quick off his line and alerts, which you need to be here in the 90th minute. You'd have to say this next attack likely to be the final one of the game, and it's going to break for Barcelona, will it? Pedri. Here he is on the ball once again. Trying to feed Fati inside, and, well, I may have cursed us, Wes, as that game team destined to be full of goals after game one, but game two will end goalless between Barcelona and the Arsenal.
Yeah, but I think that's a happier performance for Venom and for Arsenal than it is for Alex R. I think looking at the stats there, 11 shots, 7 on target. He'll be bitterly disappointed that he wasn't able to put at least one of them away. I think the objective for Venom was to steady the ship, was to get in, get a point, at least get Arsenal on the board. Doesn't seem to be too disgruntled with his performance. He seems to just have got himself across the line, whereas you can see that it looks a little bit written across Alex's face that he feels that he could have won that.
Well, there were opportunities. The tail of the tape definitely showed the 11 shots from that man there. Do you think maybe the fact-finding mission that we mentioned about from game one potentially came through to Arsenal's benefit in terms of nullifying the attack of Alex R there in game two?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's as we'll see here, it's this on Titi chance. Goes to Adama Traore. It's a big save there. Depay just flicked over the top by Gabriel. It's a wonderful block. And I think, I think the fact find, I think, or at least of the regroup from Arsenal is let's just get ourselves on the board. Let's not try and do anything hasty. You can see Venom's trying to get it moving, but he just couldn't quite get that final finish.
Well, Semra, I'm sorry. I cursed us. I said we haven't had a goalless game in the competition yet, but it ends goalless in game 2.
Well, it's okay, Harry. We can forgive you. It had to happen sometime, right? It is the only goalless result so far of the tournament. Hopefully it will be the last as well. But it certainly was an interesting battle. We could say, at least from a tactical point of view, both teams were very resilient, very sound at the back, very solid when it came to defence. But that also meant that the flip side was that there weren't too many clear-cut chances in the final thirds for either of those two teams. Well, let's see if things can change then going into Game 3, the final game for Match 2 between Barcelona and Arsenal. We'll see who is going to feature in this one, and it's going to be Roxa, the man who is rock solid himself, if you like, added a lot of strength to this team that was already very solid, as we've already seen, very strong, this Barcelona side. On top of that, he comes into this as a reigning European champion for his efforts with Serbia. On the other side of the screen is going to be Dominator, and as the name suggests, the Dutchman is no pushover. We heard from him earlier today, and he was talking about how hungry he is, how driven he is for them to go all the way, to go the full 9 yards, and to lift this trophy here next to me. But of course, he's up against it. It's tough work for them. No 3 points hit on the board, so he's going to have to pull out all the stops to make sure that he can keep Arsenal in it. The question is, do you think that he can?
It's a very difficult ask, I think, of Indominator in this one, Semra, because of the opposition that Indominator is facing. Roxa, you mentioned it, was a key part of the reason that Serbia were able to not only finish second in the Euros in 2020, but then to come out and bounce back and win it last summer was a large thanks to Roxa's goals. So I'm expecting a decent attacking performance in this one, Wes, from Roxa. On the other side, though, you have to say Indominator, one of those players for Arsenal that for a couple of seasons now has been on top of his tactics. He does his research. So if there's a man who can get the best out of this North London side, it's going to be Indominator.
Yeah, I mean, of players of his ilk, I mean, in Dominator, we talked at length about players who have plans A, B, C, D, E, F to Z. Like, he will be that guy. The only issue is that it depends on what version of him turns up. There has been occasions in the past where he's turned up and he's not quite performed to the level that we're accustomed to. And as such, he's not performed and got the results that he needed to. So it depends on what version of him turns up. And on the flip side of that, of course, you've got Roxa, who, again, for in terms of players and their abilities, is very up there with the very, very best of them. And again, if you put good players in the hands of good players, you are going to have powerful players you're going to have to go up against. I wouldn't like to be in Indominated shoes going up against Roxa, but that's just me. That's my own personal choice.
Yeah, so we have a little bit of time before kickoff to maybe speak about the new format this season. Of course, we have Dream Team coming into eFootball. You see the players there just getting ready moments before kickoff. These eFootball Championship Pro clubs for this year locked at a rating of 2,300. That impacts the lineups. It impacts which players you level up, what you do, and it changes the entire format of this competition, not only through 1v1s instead of 3v3s, but also because as we kick the game off, Wes, of that new format with Dream Team this season.
Yeah, and you've got choices to make for your players. You have choices to make on who plays where, how far you're going to level them up, and more importantly, how accustomed they're going to be to the tactics that you're using. Of course, as we mentioned earlier, team play style level, if you can get it up to 90, it's a +1 overall for everybody. If it's up to 95 plus, it's a +2. And if you can get it to 100, it's a 3+ overall. So again, there's choices for these players to make. It's whether they've made the right choices coming into this season that we're now starting to find out.
Well, the proof will be in the pudding. We're just over 7 minutes in game into game 3 between Barcelona and Arsenal. You can see the previous game results at the top of your screen. The pressure certainly on the North London club, attacking from right to left. That cross palmed away by the goalkeeper, We have Indominator, the captain of the Gunners. A few seasons under his belt now. Of course, a veteran overall of this competition. Has to go up against a very fiery opponent in Roxa. Very experienced in 1 versus 1. A prickly customer at the best of times.
Yeah, and that's it. It's versions of players that will turn up. It's what can you do on the day. It's all great having, you know, your practices and your scrimmages. It's all well and good, you know, beating your pal who's sat on the sofa next to you. But when it comes to the crunch, when it comes to game time and the lights are on, it's how do you perform here? And that's going to be the critical part for both Roxa and for Indominator here, as to how exactly they perform. We know Indominator is quite methodic in the way that he passes and the way that he hits the ball. As we're seeing here, he's trying to find a kind of almost the first loophole in the Roxa defense. But, you know, again, for Roxa, you're going to have to make the most of it when you get that ball, because you may not see it for a while if you lose it.
Well, he has possession of the ball now. What can he gather from this? Aubameyang tries to turn inside Gabriel. And with 20 minutes gone, I think you're right, Wes. Arsenal fans can expect the majority of possession here. A player like Indominator does not like to give the ball away. As for Barcelona fans, expect Roxa to go straight for the jugular. Here's Depay trying to find the goalkeeper off of his line. And that is absolutely fabulous. One chance, one goal, and it is a fabulous one from Roxa.
Waving my hands in the commentary box like Kermit the Frog. What a finish that was! That was absolutely out. No, I saw the chip. I saw the ball. It was a cracking ball down the right-hand side. Memphis Depay saw the keeper come a little bit. It was only a little bit that you saw. But it's a fantastic finish. The technical nous to pull that off, you know, knowing that you've got the right level of power. It bounces off the bar, nestles into the back of the net. That is a glorious finish. And we talked about goals of the day so far and goals of the group stage. That is right up there. As you can see, he's absolutely delighted with it, is Roxa. Fantastic finish from him.
Welcome to FC Barcelona. First goal for his new club. And it's a chip of the highest order lofted over the keeper. But Arsenal looking for the immediate reply. That's a lovely bit of skill from Lokonga, but it just won't fall to an Arsenal man. It's not often, Wes, you see those lobbed finishes go in off the underside of the bar, but somehow Roxa's been able to pull that one off.
Yeah, it's a brilliant piece of skill to pull off. And again, it's about executing. It's, yes, all right, he's got Memphis Depay. He's arguably one of the best front men on the planet currently. But you've still got to be able to pull it off between the sticks with your controller and deliver. And to have that confidence to be able to do that. Again, it's not something we don't expect from Roxa. We expect him to be full of confidence through all of the events and all of the things we've seen from him thus far. But again, to pull it off in that context, absolutely fantastic finish.
He's coming forward once more, trying to feed Frenkie de Jong. And with 10 in-game minutes to go till half-time, Dominator will be in search, of course, as he will be throughout the rest of the game, for that equalising goal. Martinelli's found a way in through behind. Lacazette caught in possession. The referee not buying his appeals for a spot kick. Patience shown by Dominator, but that's a bit of a mistake with that first-time ball. Here is Odegaard. Bounces back out to Pepe. Tomiyasu with the ball in. And this may be where Roxa will do most of his work as he wins seemingly a free kick. As who is that? Lokonga into the referee's book. Yeah. This will be where he does most of his work, where's on the counter.
Yeah, and you can see there it's a clever foul from Indominator, because when you go back and look at that, you'll see how many bodies that were back for Arsenal and how many bodies that were forward for Barcelona. And that's the danger you've got when you're playing quick counter or long ball counter as your preferred play styles, is you will leave players and you'll play a high line and your players will push forward. So as a result, when the ball comes into instances like this, if you can move the ball quickly upfield, it can cause problems.
Well, the referee blows the whistle then. Game 3 is at half-time with Barcelona with only 25% of the ball in the lead. In Dominator for Arsenal needs to turn that possession statistic into goals. And they swap sides here. Arsenal from right to left this time around. And what do you think, Wes, as we see in Dominator playing around the back, what do you think Galatasaray are thinking right now? They play, of course, in match 3 today, which is coming up shortly after this, but they're watching Barcelona with the results they've had so far be fairly strong, as I will come back to that question, as Lacazette's threatening to get in behind, but calmly done by Roxa.
Yeah, I think if you're Galatasaray, you're looking at this going, okay, well, we knew it was going to be difficult going in. Barcelona appear to be well informed for this, but they may take a little bit of solace from how Celtic played yesterday coming off the break.
Oh, Odegaard from distance, almost getting that equaliser that in Dominator now will have to take a few more risks in chasing. This one almost creeping in.
Yeah, and that's the kind of the fundamental question here is can Indominator break out of this pattern of play where it's methodic and it's almost laboured in terms of keeping the ball and looking for the perfect opportunity? Can he break out of that mindset, and can he go and be a bit more direct? Can he go and find a very open chance rather than trying to just pass his way through? Because, you know, with the players like Gerard Piqué, with Araujo, with players like that at the back, it's going to get harder as time goes on.
Well, Smith Rowe's found a pocket of space. You're incredibly right. It's going to get tougher and tougher as Barcelona aim to shut up shop at the back. Martinelli can't get there before Lenglet puts a foot in, and now Barcelona can bring the ball away. Tomiyasu with a very strong challenge indeed. At the hour mark, Wes, Barcelona 1, Arsenal 0. It's been exactly as we expected, a bit more of an attritional affair. Roxa the one taking the more risks, in Dominator with the more possession, but that needs to change now, doesn't it? And Dominator needs to start taking those risks a bit more in search of an equaliser. Here is Roxa coming forward, but Tomiyasu steps in.
Yeah, I think with the stat that we saw there was 90% of passes from Arsenal have been completed, which, you know, granted, yes, is a great stat to have, but the only stat that's going to matter at the end of this game is the one that's sat in the top left-hand corner. So, you know, for all of the passing and, you know, the possession game that's there, if you don't put the ball in the back of the net, which is basic as it sounds, it doesn't mean anything. You know, you're not gonna, you know, we're not gonna have a table of who's got the most possession or who's got the most pass assist, pass accuracy during the league.
One thing we do though is have a table for the leading goal scorers, as Aubameyang is found offside. You saw there, thanks to the 7 goals in game 1. Apologies, Arsenal fans. I'll have to keep reminding you about it. De Palma, after 1 game, is up there with Mestre of Bayern, who has played 2. So we could well see a new leading goal scorer at the end of today's match day. Now, though, changes to be made on both sides.
Number 9, Alexandre Lacazette. Coming on to replace him is number 30, Edin Nketiah.
So Nketiah on. Dembele on as well. Now's the time we're going to have to see Arsenal really try and find Payda. It's Martinelli and it's Odegaard! The equaliser! He was searching for it, had the lion's share of possession and then some, and now has a goal to set us up, Wes, for the final 20 in-game minutes. It's 1-1.
Yeah, and you know, we spoke quite earnestly about, you know, in terms of the subs that were brought on and in terms of the effect it could have here. It was this little stop there. And to be fair, it's unfortunate that the ball has ricocheted. It's fallen very kindly to Martin Odegaard, but you can see that the run starts there. It gets passed off and passed again. You see the run is already happening. It very similar to the goal that Rashford scored yesterday for Man United. The run's already there, so that ricochet is more than likely going to go towards an attacker. So again, if he can stay on side, which he had done, it's a very easy opportunity, and it's 1-1.
You saw there Rox's disappointment. You also heard Barbosa saying, come on. They have a chance now to steal 3 points. Which, given how game 1 went, I think Arsenal would be fairly happy about. Pepe now into Martinelli. Dominator growing into this game. Still has defensive duty to do. But the substitutes, Wes, came moments prior to that goal going in. Do you think it made a tangible difference for how Dominator feels on the pitch? Does he feel a bit more comfortable now with this setup with the new subs?
I think so. I think because it allows midfield. He's now got, you know, fresh forwards, or at least say fresh forwards, to be able to kind of push the issue. So if you've got, say for example, it would be Lacazette in this instance. If Lacazette has done all of your running in the first half and has been running into almost brick walls, the stamina that is left in him is going to be obviously way less than a fresh substitute. So having that difference maker on certainly helps when it comes to locating opportunities within the box. And more importantly, it's more for their reaction times than it is anything else that it really does help with.
Number 65.
Well, the final 10 in-game minutes is approaching. We knew this tie would be a fascinating one. Now it's a chance potentially now for Dominator through with Eddie Nketiah! The comeback kid strikes again. Dominator from 1-0 down finds himself moments away from a precious 3 points in the eFootball Championship Pro 2022. It's 2-1, Wes.
It's like you just asked, do substitutes make a difference? You absolutely bet they do. It's a wonderful through ball. It's a cut across from Hutchinson, and it's Eddie Nketiah to stick it away. So all 3 substitutes having that ability and having that, as we said, freshness to get forward, create runs, and create opportunities. It's a big finish from Nketiah. It's 2-1 to Arsenal. This will soon and Dominator down to the ground at this point, because now, as we know, his kind of default play style is keep the ball, pass the ball, lend it, and take it away again and again. This will suit him down to the ground in the last 10 minutes.
Well, if there's one thing that can be said of the Arsenal captain in Dominator, he never ever gives up. Knew the game was within his reach at all times and has a runner in behind again. It's Hutchinson, has Martinelli in support. Surely not 3, as Nketiah is arriving, and it's 3! Three goals for Dominator, and surely 3 points to go with it, Wes. An incredible display.
Yeah, that has to be game, set, and match for Arsenal. And again, you know, we spoke at length about how almost out of it felt that Dominator was in this game. But again, summoning powers of recovery. And again, it's those players that have come on that have made the difference. It's a lovely little cut across to Martinelli, or from Martinelli. And it's Nketiah again at the double, who's there to just tap it home. And again, it's been great football to watch. It's just been a case of performing and doing exactly what you need to do. And again, from a captain standpoint, to come in and give yourselves an extra 3 points, which I don't think anybody would have anticipated after game 1. It's a fantastic performance from Dominator.
Maybe too early to say, but potentially a season-saving performance from the captain in Dominator, and he's going in search of more goals here, Wes. This is looking a formality at this point, but a real statement victory from Indominator.
Well, it certainly changes the team talk afterwards, doesn't it? You go from potentially staring down the barrel of, giving Barcelona 7 points out of 9. Instead, it's now going to potentially be 4 points apiece if my maths are right. Oh, no, 4 points apiece. So
Pepe's going for goal, and it's required input by the goalkeeper, but it is 4.
Well done, bro.
It took him such a long time to grow into this game. But grow into it, he's blossomed. It's 4-1.
Well, it's like we said, if you have the pass stat, it's great. If you don't have the goals, it means nothing. But he's now added all 4 goals. It's a superb performance in the end from Indominator. But again, we would probably be having a very different discussion if he hadn't scored. But now it has. If anything, it's vindicated his way of playing. So full credit to Indominator. 4-1 up, not long left on the clock here. And like I said, it will completely change the complexity of the group. It will certainly change the complexity of their after game team talk.
Well, it looked after game 1 that Barcelona would be coming away with a lot more points from this match against Arsenal here, but a resilient performance in game 2 to grind out that point, and now this ecstatic one sees Arsenal leave this engagement with 4 points. An incredible performance from the captain in Dominator. He should be very proud of his work here. On the other side, Rox's defence just could not hold long enough. He will feel definitely hard done by and unfortunate in the way some of the goals went in. But the important thing is, Wes, Arsenal are the benefactors. They will take away 4 points, and it will be 4 points apiece here as we take a look at the replays from game 3.
Yeah, we thought it was a wonderful finish there from Roxa, and you would have thought, given the way that Indominator was playing before the subs, and I have to really press that home, it was the substitutes that really changed the game for Indominator to be able to have those legs in midfield and to be able to really get in and amongst it. And again, you saw even that chance that went slightly wide with Odegaard. It was even then at that point we thought that might have been his only chance of the game. But as we saw, as time went on and as energy depleted and a slight bit of luck there for Odegaard, all of a sudden parity was restored, and we thought, hold on, we might have a bit of a game here.
Well, that was the goal to make it 1 apiece. And we saw the Odegaard chance moments previous that maybe, as you said, Wes, we thought this could either be his only chance of the game or a signal that he's going to start taking more risks. And credit to Indominator, the patience really did pay off as we saw yet more goals to come. This was to make it 2-1 and to shoot the Gunners into the lead of the match. And then, of course, Nketiah with the 1-2 punch to make it then 3-1. At this point, we knew the result was certain, but the free kick afterwards, where